In this video, I'm going to explain how to properly use content in your advertising to get more enrollments. Now, towards the end of this video, we'll jump into some of the specifics on how to tactically use content in our advertising. The majority of advertising strategies are what we call direct response advertising. In super simple terms, they're just regular ads that state your offer with a call to action at the end. Direct response advertising is kind of like going door to door, just pitching people on your program. And when you do this, you treat them like a number or a statistic or even an impression in the online world. You don't really speak to a person or a prospective student the way that they need to be spoken to. You don't actually frame them before you actually pitch them. You don't try and make them care about what you have to offer, or even at the bare basics, just understand the problem and solution relationship that your program can actually have with their life. When you run direct response advertising, you're essentially just telling a cold audience that doesn't know you, and you're telling them, hey, here's our program. I know you don't really know us. Come drop thousands of dollars with us and dedicate tons of your time. When you do this style of advertising, you don't talk to a prospective student the way that a person should be spoken to enroll or even make a sale in most cases. People need to be framed, they need awareness, and they need specific beliefs to have the highest probability of buying from you when your ad comes across their device. Research directly from Google suggests that a buyer needs 7 hours of interaction across 11 different touch points in 4 separate locations before they can actually make a purchase. So Google identified that just on average, whether it be on your website, social media, in person, a buyer will spend 7 hours on average, like researching your program, your product, looking at reviews, comparing you to the competition, and consuming content about your brand across 11 different touch points, 4 different locations, before they're actually ready to buy or enroll in this case. Long story short, to convert prospective students into paying students, we need to be consistently top of mind, and we can do so strategically. Allow me to explain. Just to be super clear, I'm not saying direct response doesn't work entirely. It for sure does, because we run profitable direct response campaigns all the time. My point is that we've gotten far more buyers for less costs compared to our regular direct response campaigns because of a concept that we call content first advertising strategies. We use content in our advertising strategies to get more enrollments for cheaper costs. Content is commonly random, and most businesses just make content with no grand strategy besides just posting to post. The intention of content is to manage the beliefs and handle future objections of people you're actually targeting with this content that we're eventually going to try and sell. Content is meant to manage the way that our audiences view us and view the world. Content can also handle future objections that will eventually come up later in the sales process. Just to be extremely clear, content is not to be used as a sales pitch, nor are you acknowledging that you're going to even sell something or try to sell them down the road. Content is purely for belief management and handling future objections. Ads are for selling. Real people need to be aware of key data before buying something in most instances. The simplest content first advertising strategy is what we call the reverse fly trap. This is an extremely high leverage action for you if you're already running ads. I highly encourage you to try this out. Tactically, how we deploy this strategy is we continue targeting people with our regular direct response ads, and then alongside of our ads, we will distribute content to your ideal buyers. Having strategic content run alongside of your ads, simply put, helps frame potential buyers and increases the odds of an enrollment. When you actually get people to engage with your regular direct response ads by watching videos, liking your ads, commenting, visiting your page, we then forced strategic content into these people's news feeds. We do this with campaigns optimized for video views and engagement, and we do this for pennies on the dollar. Typically, this costs less than a penny, and I've even seen a tenth of a penny to get in front of a warm audience. Now, just to give you a visual example of how this works in super simple terms, this is a traditional ad, a traditional direct response ad. Now, a majority of people who saw this ad won't apply right away, right? They'll have objections in their head, why they might not apply right now. There might even be something bothering them. They might just need some questions answered. So anyone who's had a high interaction on the ads and even landed on the website would be considered a high intent audience, and they'll have some level of interest. We then hammer these types of people with content to help break down some of these objections. Some examples of content that we use are testimonials from graduates who said the program was awesome and why it was awesome. We'll use objection handler videos that are strictly educational. And finally, any other type of content that helps frame people into working with your organization. Now, just to be super clear, this content has no calls to action in it. Below this video, I'll link a sheet with some additional content that we use with our agency's clients. These are some fantastic ideas to even post on your organic social media channels. After they are served these educational videos, they're then presented again with regular direct response ads, just regular ads to apply for the program. Imagine how much hotter and excited your leads would be getting on the phone, getting on Zoom with your admissions team if they already had some familiarity with your company, your program, your product, and if they already saw you helping others solve the problem that they're currently having, and they knew that you were a market leader. Now, I just want you to imagine, think about how that type of framing would impact your closing percentage on the phones, on Zoom, in comparison to talking to a ice cold lead, an ice cold prospective student who just came in from a regular ad. Typically, how we actually deploy this strategy, simply put, we run regular direct response ads with curated content alongside of the ads for people who did not apply from the first ad. If you have any additional questions on how this works, we're always here to help. Feel free to reach out to me. My email is ceo@curtis.expert.